Orlando, land of the free and home of the waves, where fireworks dilate the eyes of the night sky, bright whites, reds, and magentas bang, spread like spider webs across the constellation. We're just colorful people creating the culture, comfortable in the winter, using soap suds for snowflakes with no shame. Visitors' symbols of space exploration dangle from keychains. The coast is a quick drive, Atlantic breeze, vibes, where a Sunday stroll through Lake Eola or Lorna Doone won't cost you a dime, and the options for fine dining come a dime a dozen and doesn't feel like the same meal. It is unbelievably real. Ripley's Believe Me or Not, I've seen orange flames disappear into the black abyss, a sonic booming position for business, where innovation is limitless, where high tech intersects with every industry. Spring bliss, our Lando, the land of magic and microchips. 500,000 college students from 100 miles, absorbing the cutting edge of everything under the sun. We take pride in our lions and guardians that govern the magic we run, and we run laps, the flagship destination to put metaverse on the map. Orlando, land of many languages, reflected in the cuisine, where convention center conferences and upside down buildings share the same street. We are playful where we meet, creatively serious. We are EA Sports and Steinmetz Hall, Dolphins and Gators and the Millennium Mall and the Florida Mall. We shop and kayak and get in where we fit in, because this expanding global hub either got something for everyone or blank spaces on the canvas waiting for acrylic paint, where your worst day can still feel like your birthday, especially in October. Fiestas and parades. Look, we celebrate days like 407 Day. Land of the free, home of the waves. So much more to reveal between the water slides and the 400-foot wheel. We are unbelievably real.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. First of all, welcome, 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 welcome. I just felt like we just should jump right into it with the Shawn Welcome, the former Poet Laureate of Orlando, Florida, if you didn't already know, okay? As a matter of fact, he made me want to say, like, Dag, I think I really like my city all over again.
I appreciate it, sis. I appreciate that.
Yes, he is amazing. He has started and hosted the oldest, longest running poetry scene, open mic here, diverse word. I mean, it is such an honor. I've known him, not like all the 19 years, but it's been about 19 years since like when I first
Yeah,
met you. And it's
yeah.
amazing. And
Long
you are
time.
still the same. And I appreciate
I
it.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah,
Thank
fun
you
times,
so
man.
much.
Fun times.
Yes, I am so glad you are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here and, chop it up with you, and add value to the poetry conversation. My story obviously has some interesting things about it, and yeah, just looking forward to the conversation.
Yes, I mean, we could just get right into it. Let's just get right into your story. Tell us how you just even got started with poetry, because I like that story.
Yeah, yeah. So, first of all, I wasn't into poetry like growing up. I don't know if there were, spoken word or anything that was like taught in school just wasn't my thing. I actually struggled with reading comprehension.
Mm.
I was regular kid, played basketball, always like cracking jokes and stuff, like just, goofy, silly, playful, which I kind of, I don't think that changed. As far
Never
as writing and performing, that just wasn't on my radar. And then my senior year of high school, so I'm originally from Brooklyn. I moved to Orlando when I was about 10 years old. Grew up here, went to school here, and in my senior year of high school, I moved back to Brooklyn for a few different reasons. But In any case, I was surrounded by a lot of creatives, rappers, poets. They would be performing, on the sidewalk, in the hallways, in the classroom, in the cafeteria. Like I was around that environment, and I was going through a lot at the time. Like I was the new kid all over again, like as a late teen, and so I really honestly I just didn't have anything to do, and yeah, I was in the prime environment to be impressed upon, and just being around the people that I was hearing forced me to ask a question like, can I do that? Is that
Yeah.
something that I could do? And so went home one day, wrote like a rap lyric, 16, whatever it was, and I brought it to one of my friends to see what he thought about it, explaining to him, it's my first time, trying
Yeah.
this. And when I read it to him, or he read it, I don't even remember who did what, but he thought I was playing around. Like that wasn't my first time. I was pulling his leg. I'd always been writing and I was trying to flex, but it wasn't. It was really like my first time trying it out. So that gave me some confidence. In my whole senior year of high school, that's all I did. I just wrote, went to school,
Wow.
participated in these ciphers, hung around them, and it
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was empowering. It was impressive, like to see other 16, 17-year-old kids, flesh out their thoughts and word flip and be creative. And I think for me, subconsciously, it was like one of the things that I was in control of, you know, and um, and it was just really empowering for me. So my basketball dreams didn't work out. Me and my dad butt heads my senior year of high school. I ended up moving back to Orlando, but with this newfound gift, right? I like picked up while I was
Yeah.
up there my senior year, and started sharing with my friends here in uh, Valencia, where I started Valencia College East Campus, community college back then.
Yeah.
And then started going looking for open mic nights where other people express themselves, and found myself around other poets and sharing my new works, and transition to more of a storytelling style, right? Like less became less rhymey,
Yeah.
less AB rhyme scheme, more cadence driven, right?
Okay.
As I was exposed to here. And I love that. I was like, oh, this is great. So on and on, did a poetry play at the Dr. Phillips Center, the old one,
Yes.
back in the day, and that play made the newspaper. Director at 33rd Street Jail saw these young black energetic kids doing positive things in the community, invited us to come and speak to the youth offenders at 33rd
Wow.
to share our poetry. That was really cool. That ended up turning into a poetry class that we did every on Saturdays from 2 to 4 at 33rd. And it was during that time that I kind of saw like the transformative power that poetry can have, like when sharing it and other people grab hold of it. And
Yeah.
that was what,
And get their
2006.
emotions out.
Yeah, absolutely. Making sense of the world, making sense of how
Yeah.
they see the world, making sense of their emotions, like you said. And between that experience and being exposed to national poetry slam competition, I was inspired to start my own open mic night called Diverse Word, which you gave a wonderful introduction to earlier, and the rest is history.
Gosh, that is amazing. I don't
Thank
think I
you.
knew like the extra stuff, so thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, there's more. There's more. There's more. Yeah, so
Wow.
it's
So
been
the
a fun
poetry
journey.
class. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a fun journey, ups, downs. My wife and I, we were homeless for about 7 months, just kind of like struggling, like living with different family members, trying to get, on our feet. There's just been so many kind of like ups and like highs and lows during the journey, but diverse with the open mic, the writing, all of that has remained consistent, whether I was on a mountain or in a valley. That's the one like thing that's been always consistent, and I think that has culminated into a lot of the success that people see today. You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
because for a while that was every week.
yeah, every week for 17 years before handing it off, '06 to 2023, and then handed it off to another artist. Continued. I mean, at that time, I was the poet laureate. So I became poet laureate in 2021,
Okay.
and that was a 4-year term that I just concluded in 2025. And then now I'm launching a thank you, launching a nonprofit organization called the Literary Arts Council of Central Florida, just really trying to connect or strengthen the thriving literary arts events around Orlando and Central Florida to have a more greater impact. Because like when I reflect back on how I got into it, it was really the culture. It was the culture that did. It wasn't the classroom. It was everything that was between the institutions.
Yeah,
And how can I recreate that environment and ecosystem to make it easy for people who want to get into writing poetry, storytelling,
yeah,
literary arts. How can we make that just a part of our everyday experience here because it's so pervasive in the community, in the culture.
exactly.
So
It's like put down the video games, put down the gun, pick up the pen, you know?
right, yeah.
Like
Pick up the
it's
pen, flesh out your
yeah.
thoughts. Yeah, one
It's like
thing I
once you
always
start writing, it's wow, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's freeing. One of the benefits I always talk about is poets getting writing and performing poems makes you more confident, right? If you're having to read poetry in front of your friends or a large group or even a small group, you build your confidence through that process, and your confidence can be used in other areas of your life. It also stimulates critical thinking, right? Finding the right words to communicate what you want to say. You use critical thinking to solve problems in your everyday life. And in the best case scenario, it helps to make you more compassionate. When you're writing and performing, you tend to be in spaces where other people are writing and performing, and you develop a certain type of empathy by listening to everyone else, right? And so
Yeah.
I think, yeah, being more confident, building your critical thinking skills, and just the human element of compassion for other people are the three primary benefits of engaging in spoken word poetry.
Oh, I love it. So I guess what was the hardest poem that you had to write? The most emotional, like that really gives you like when you still read it, you still
Yeah.
get chills.
So I think I would break this into two parts. More the two parts as it relates to your question that would be a good point of clarification for me. Emotionally challenging or like intellectually challenging, right? I think
Let's start with emotional
I
first.
feel that's where you're going. I feel like that's where you're going. Hmm. Weeping Willow. Weeping Willow is a poem that I wrote. Yeah. It's funny. I'll never. I'm not like. I feel like I'm very guarded.
Right, exactly.
Emotional.
You
I'm
looked at
super
those
guarded.
questions like,
I'm
I won't
like,
even
dang
answer.
it. Me's on the podcast, Jay, the sneaky poet. That's why I call you sneaky. That's why. That question right there. um, so I would say there's a poem called Weeping Willow, and um so I gotta give the backstory to this. My wife was a teen mom. She had two children very early. The first at 14, second at 17. When we met, they were 7 and 10. The oldest girl was 10, and they became my kids. And then we had three more together. So I have five children. The oldest daughter, we got the news that she became pregnant. And we were like 29 at that time because her mom had her really young, right?
Yeah.
So that whole time in our life was extremely stressful and challenging and had a lot of um just a lot to deal with emotionally, the strain on our marriage, like there was just a lot.
Yeah.
dealing with just the circumstances of that, which is a lot to unpack on this call. But I was trying to take the perspective of this granddaughter of mine, coming granddaughter, being like a blessing, right? And getting into the headspace of that, I thought about a willow tree. A willow tree is something that is dreadful and kind of like hangs and is associated with death and the cemetery. You see it in like the Chinese movies, like the
Right.
whatever. It's like the hanging tree. And I was thinking about how visually beautiful that tree is, right? Although it's associated with one thing, if you look at it in and of itself, it's like really beautiful. And so I was trying to write this poem that articulated the tension between like this pain and this beauty, right? And so the poem is called Weeping Willow, and I celebrate this tree. But that was everything that was going on about it. And that was the most emotionally like challenging poem to write. But and I hardly even perform it anymore. I'm like
Can we hear it?
in and out.
Can we hear it?
Can we hear it? Sneaky poet. Jay the sneaky poet. Say something to the people while I
All
look
right,
up.
so we are here. We are about to hear Weeping Willow. Okay, we got Shawn Welcome to open up.
Let's see
So
here.
we are super excited about it.
Let's
So excited to
see.
have him on, by the way, too. Okay, I don't
Was
even think
that?
I said I'm so excited to have you on, by the way. I don't even think
Oh
I knew
yeah,
you
no,
were
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I am grateful. It's funny, like this is an excerpt of it. This is an excerpt. So I could do the whole poem. I could read this excerpt.
I mean, I'll take the whole poem, but it's up to you.
I have to find if I don't find it, we're gonna have to settle for the excerpt.
Okay. Okay.
But I have to see which
You can
email
do
it
the
is.
excerpt. Go ahead. We'll take the
Usually,
excerpt.
yeah, yeah. But let me give it a chance here and see
Okay.
if I can get the whole thing. Yeah, no, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So excerpt, y'all.
Excerpt it
Um,
is.
it goes like this. Who weeps when watching a weeping willow? Its thin, long branches seeping when wet, drooping to the ground, surrounding its roots, tickling wild grass like something's funny. I smile when I see you. They call you weeping and ugly, but I call you beautiful. Look at your reflection in the lakeside, creek, pond, myriad of mirrors beneath you. I know you're just one, seemingly unwanted tree that no one pays attention to, but look at your roots. What they can't see is 2/3 of you beneath the surface, gripping earth and dirt like it's your destiny, standing firm when the wind screams curse words in your hair, rain and hail beat your leaves, leaving you tired. They don't see you rightly. Excerpt. I'll stop there. So that's it. That's it. It goes on and on.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think I have heard that. I think you've done it at Diverse
At
Word before.
Dandelion, at the Dandelion Vineyard. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So good. Thank you for sharing
Thank
this.
you. Thank you. Jamees, appreciate it.
For giving us a piece into your world. So how do you feel about being a pop? Did you write a poem?
And no pop poems. You know, it's funny. I don't even have like poems about my immediate children. You know, like
No?
I don't, I'm not a I'd say I don't write from an emotional place mostly, you know. I've recognized that difference when I hear other poets, and I appreciate it so much when I see artists being really, really vulnerable, you know,
Yeah.
because it just makes it I recognize how not vulnerable I am, right? And how like I'm like um so I appreciate when I see it, but yeah, I love the exercise of um, you know, like thinking of different ways to say things or coloring an idea, and presenting it to people. But yeah, I guess I'm not stereotypical in that regard. Like I have one love poem, like one. Actually, I take that back. I have two,
Okay.
two, but like I never bring those out. I'm just
Can we
like.
see? You should never said it. Can we hear a love poem? Too late. Too late.
So if you're not sneaky as me putting myself out there, right?
It's you.
Um, yes, me. No, that was just an example. I wasn't doing that to
An
like.
example. We were ready for a love poem.
Yeah, nah, I'm not. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'll pass. I'm
Okay.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. It's just like,
Challenge you though to like at least do one, even if you only perform it at like the
yeah,
family
yeah, I'm
reunion
saying
or
I
something.
have Supermodel. Supermodel's a poem by my wife.
Yeah.
I have like there's one I wrote. Actually, no, I have like three. So one of those poems was about a crush I had on this woman. This is before my wife. A crush I
Yeah.
had on her, but the way it presents is not revealing of the feeling that I had, right? So it's
Right.
very much masked in metaphor and all this stuff. Like, but I know what's going on. You know what I mean? The
Right.
way,
Right.
right? So I think poetry does do that too, as well as like fiction writing,
Yes.
right? Like a thought or feeling you may have, and you find these metaphor or other ways to communicate it so that it's cathartic in one regard, like coming out, but then it's still like protected in terms of presentation, right? Um,
Yes.
anyway,
I think I love that the most about writing is that you're right, that we can kind of like mask our
you
real
can hide,
emotions.
you can
Yes.
reveal and hide at the same time.
Exactly. Like you think we're talking about cookies, but we're really talking about like you're the cookie I want.
Right, 100%, 100%. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. Oh, that's so exciting. Thank you for, for getting a little vulnerable with us. Oh,
Eden, you're on the podcast. You know that? There's millions of viewers right now.
yes.
Yes.
Did you come and
Right.
get the phone back? You can give her the
Yeah,
phone.
yeah, she was like, "No, I know what y'all doing." And actually, this will help me not have to pull up a poem. I have an excuse now. My daughter has my phone. I don't know what to tell y'all.
Okay. I'll take the poems you know.
Hmm. The ones that's up here.
The ones that's up there, yes. So tell us, I know we touched about it a little bit, but tell us how you became Poet Laureate and that experience.
Yeah, so there's a lot of contributing factors to that. I think at a real baseline level, super baseline level, um, hosting diverse word every week, being known in the community, performing, having a presence in the city, in that lane, I think was a great primer for how all of this unfolded. Um, the mayor of Orlando, Buddy Dyer, went to one of these mayors conferences in 2017 and heard another mayor bragging about their poet laureate and all the amazing things that they were doing in the city and in the community. And I imagine our mayor was like, wait a minute, like, like we don't got one of them, came back to Orlando, inspired from that, and asked for us to find our first poet laureate, and got with community affairs, which is the department that would work with United Arts of Central Florida to create a process by which we would like select a poet laureate. And so shortly after that press release in July of 2017, I received an email that said, hey, Shawn. Well, first of all, when the press release went out, people were hitting me up like crazy. Oh, that's you. Like, obviously knowing who I am and what I do and for how long I've been doing it, they're like, oh, this is like you're the whole job description, you know? And um, so shortly after the press release, I got an email that was like from the city that was like, hey, Shawn, I don't know if you're aware, but we are in search of our very first poet laureate, and we would like for you to be on our poet laureate selection committee. Right. It's very anticlimactic. I thought it was going in another direction. But that kind of began the process. Well, I accepted that role. So, but that got me in the space of even understanding how a poet laureate will be selected. So I served on that on the committee to select our first poet laureate, which was uh, our selecting of our top three of the applications that came in and sending those three candidates to the mayor to interview, and then he would make his decision.
Okay.
4 years later, 2017 to 2021, um, I was very much nudged to step down from the committee so that I could apply myself.
Right.
And I was reluctant at first, but believe it or not. I was like I'm good. But thinking about the impact that it could have if I did win or if I were the representative, for poetry in the designated officially by the city and all that kind of stuff, like how meaningful that would be to the community, right? And how I could bring spoken word into that space and kind
Yeah.
of reflecting on that was a lot of the impetus behind me making the decision to step down and apply myself. So I did that. I stepped down in 2021 from the committee. They switched around the selection committee members for like a fresh group, and I applied. Then I was one of the top three candidates from the application that was sent to the mayor to be interviewed, and the mayor selected me as the second poet laureate for the city of Orlando. And I served in that role for 4 years. For your audience members or listeners that don't know what that all entails, I would custom write a few poems for select city-sponsored events like a Black History Month event or a Hispanic Heritage Month event or Fourth of July celebration or anything that the city puts on, MLK,
Yeah.
whatever. And in the lineup of presentations, they would include a poet to perform something in those settings.
Yeah.
And um, and so yeah, so that's what I did. And anytime there was an event, it was like, all right, and now our poet laureate, Shawn Welcome, I'll go up there and I would perform something I either had written already or that I created specifically for that event. And it's a way for the general public to appreciate poetry and see its role in civic life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think I did a really good job of helping educate our community on I help educate community that wouldn't come to open mic nights. Like just general city influencers that ain't really on that. They not hanging out 9, 10, 11 o'clock.
Right.
And we brought poetry to them, right? Because they're not necessarily coming to see me. They're
Right.
coming to see the mayor and hear all the update, the state of downtown address, or the whatever it is, the state of the city event. But then included in all of that, we kind of remember the human element of like who we are, what our city is, what it means, and just like creating creative language around that is uh, just really helpful, to include. So
I
yeah,
love that. I love
yeah,
that. That is awesome. I was so excited when I saw you. I was like, ooh, I
yeah.
know him.
Come on. It's like, oh, we in there. We in there. Hold the door open. Hold the door open. Hold the door. I'm coming.
Deserved because just like you said, I mean, for 17 years, diligently every single week, like you didn't
Yeah.
miss a beat. everything
Yeah.
sick, everything
Yeah.
tired,
Yeah.
like no matter what was
Thank
going
you.
on, newborn,
Thank you.
like
Thank
you
you.
were there. So it
Thank
was
you. Thank you.
definitely well deserved. Thank
Thank you. Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. I appreciate the flowers, sis. I appreciate the flowers.
Yes. Thank you for just like for figuring out like what you should do early. You know what your
Yeah.
calling is
Well, I
early.
think I think, I don't think it should be missed on those listening that, it did something for me too.
Hmm.
Like I was serving, but like I was also being fed by serving, like by being out there, and
Yeah.
having a break from all of the things going on in my life, having fun. And I mean, listening to all the artists, like I was wholly fed out there.
Wow.
Although it wasn't like I'm like laboring, like that was fun. It was fun for me
Yeah. It
to
should
be
be
out there.
fun. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, so
Yeah.
you said what you have coming up is you started your own.
Yes. Well, let me back up just a little bit. So in 2023, I went full time as a poet and professional speaker. All that means is I ain't got no boss, right? Except for God and my wife. Like those are the only two people I answer
Right.
to. Maybe my daughter over here with the phone. But but yeah, in terms of like a business, um, I I kill what I eat, or
Yeah.
eat what I kill. Yeah, I said that
Yes,
backwards.
yes, yeah.
I kill what I eat. That's weird. I eat what I kill, and I've learned how to do that. Joining the Next Level Speakers Academy back in 22 was really helpful. Being in a community of people who are thinking seriously about wrapping a business around your voice, your story. Being that I was already a spoken word poet, I kind of had a leg up in terms of being in front of audiences and stages and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
over time, just learning from like other people, modules, coaching, all of that, I was able to launch full time in 23, and while being poet laureate, right? So I think like the combination of being in the public eye as much as I was working for myself, um, I've been and then landing the plane on my poet laureateship in 25 gave me a lot of credence for launching the Literary Arts Council of Central Florida. I've,
Yeah.
I've leveraged the attention. I've Our co-founder Alex Gertis is an amazing um, literary aficionado, poet, convener of um, our literary arts community. Is really into understanding our written word community here in Orlando. He and I co-founded this to kind of pool our influence together to create even more of a robust like culture around centered around literacy
Oh,
and the
wow.
literary arts. And um, so yeah, we're right now we're just strengthening our literary ecosystem. We're organizing the 34th annual Southern Fried Poetry Slam Festival, which we won the bid for in 24. I notice I feel like I'll drink it out of a water hose here. In terms of information,
Right.
um, the Southern Fried Poetry Slam Festival is one of the largest spoken word competitions in the country, and Orlando has never actually hosted it before. We've always sent poets to compete in those competitions, but we've never hosted it ourselves. And so
So
our
excited.
organization is organizing that. We have subcommittees, and I mean, 5 days of just spoken word competition with teams from New Orleans and Chicago and
Right.
Jersey, wherever, right? Like Texas, Tampa, wherever, and um, and that is just like I know our community has never seen anything on that level before. We're kicking it in Eatonville, celebrating the literary legacy of Zora Neale Hurston, who grew up in Eatonville, child of the Harlem Renaissance. Like
Right.
there's so much to celebrate around the words, and we are organizing what that experience is like in this community. And then the following year we plan on continuing with the momentum into what we would call Lit Lando, which
Right.
is a massive book festival with live entertainment and writers and authors talks, akin to the Miami Book Fair, if anyone is familiar with that. So, which is like your scholastic book fair in elementary school, but on steroids. You
I
know.
love it. That's all I was thinking about. Was like, ooh,
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I think, it's sorry, I got brain chatter going on, but just
it's
track with me.
okay.
So I don't know if you've seen the documentary on Reading Rainbow on Netflix. You familiar with Reading Rainbow,
Oh,
right? The
called
show?
Butterfly
Of
in the
course.
Sky.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
Butterfly in the Sky. Matter of fact, that's what it's
Right.
called. It's called Butterfly in the Sky.
Yes.
And LeVar Burton, the host,
Yeah.
which is so dope. It was a black dude talking about reading, and also like,
Yes.
oh, represent, represent, and got me engaged anyway.
Me
Um,
too.
he said something about the producing of that show. He said the idea behind it is they didn't want to teach children how to read. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to help children fall in love with reading.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the angle, right? I
Right.
wasn't taught, poetry. Like I fell in love with it. I love what I felt and saw when other people were doing
Yes.
it. And I feel like, with Southern Fried Poetry Slam Festival with Litlando, the whole idea is to get people to fall in love with what's happening, right?
Mm,
And identify literary arts as the pathway to that
right.
love. You
I
know what I
love it.
mean? So
I
yeah.
love it.
So I'll stop there. I'll go
No,
on and on.
thank you. Thank you, because it's so important. It is so
It
important.
is. It
Yeah.
is. It is. It's really important. I mean, when you look at poverty rates, when you look at safety or crime, whichever way you want to like look at
Yeah.
it, when you look at incarceration and that kind of
Incarceration.
thing, the more well read you are, the more you can process your thoughts and emotions. It's like the less likely you are to be lost, and
Yeah.
find like destructive ways of expressing yourself or feeling like a man or a woman. You're just better for it.
Right.
That's not to say, educated people aren't criminals, right? Or educated people aren't
But
below the
still,
poverty line. But
yeah.
it's more of a less likely to, like, you're more likely to have a fulfilled and more quality of life, the more range of vocabulary you have to kind of process your emotions and the way you view the world and how you interact, like in terms of your interpersonal relationships, like your career, like emails, like communication is a part of
Yeah.
every aspect of your life. And so if you can master that early, if you can engage in it in a fun way that builds that muscle, I just think our society is better for it. Like ignorance kills, man.
It does.
Ignorance,
Yeah.
not people who can't really, I just think it's harmful, and I think I'm doing the world a
Right.
service by pushing that kind of energy, out
Yes.
there.
It's so needed. Thank you so much for continue to push that. It's so
Yeah, yeah.
needed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fulfilling. It's the gift that God gave me, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
how do I use this to
Mhm.
have a positive impact in the world? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? If I was like a skilled mechanic, I'd be pushing that. You know what I mean? Or if I were a professional athlete, which I tried to be, that didn't work out. I would try to leverage my basketball skills or my athletic
Yeah.
skills to do some sort of, to have some kind of impact. But what I have is spoken word, right? And
And
so,
it's huge.
hey, how can I use that?
Yes.
So it's me figuring it
It's
out.
huge. I'm so excited. Okay. I'm so excited. I'm like super excited.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we need volunteers, Jamise. You volunteering for Southern Fried?
Hey, I'm here.
Put you on the spot. I'm the sneaky poet now. I'm the sneaky poet. Yeah, we
Listen,
need.
I'm trying to get on the team. Okay,
Oh, let's go. Oh,
I got
oh,
slammed.
speaking of which, hold on. Let me
Yeah.
say this, right? So January 30th, I think,
Oh,
is
yes,
the
I'll be
qualifier.
there. Yes,
Oh, okay.
we
So
got the
you already got
qualifier.
the info. You really trying to get up. See, let's go. We need representatives from Orlando. So
Yes, I will be there. So I've been trying to every day just kind of run through like a top five and
hmm.
then just like, trying to get it to where I can say it in my sleep. And I'm like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah.
That's cool.
So no, I'm excited. I'm
That's
just
good.
honored that I was even thought of to to just make it that far. So yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's great. That's
And
great.
even if not, then yes, I'll come volunteer. Just to
The
be
best
in
case
support.
scenario, you don't have to volunteer because you're on the team. I love it.
But even
Well,
just to be
sending
there.
you positive vibes, sis. Sending you positive vibes.
Oh,
For
thank you.
sure.
Thank you. I mean, there's so many dope poets here. It's it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's amazing. What was I gonna, so what would your advice be to up and coming poet, spoken word artist, whichever anything, just any type of performer? What would you
Yeah.
leave us?
Excuse me. Excuse me. I would say saturating yourself in an environment that stimulates your creativity is really helpful. Um, if you are an educator or a doctor, aspirationally, I would say you need to get around medical people or educators, right? So you're constantly fed, as you discover your own signature in the world in that lane. Same thing with poets and poetry. It's like go to those open mic nights, sit, listen, look at stuff on YouTube, like feed your mind, you know what I mean? Feed whatever your muse is, be around that energy. Um, I know some of the poems that I used to write early on came right out of, you know, being in the audience at a really dope competition. And I'm leaving there like, ooh, like I got something, So I would just encourage writers to be in the space. And I think there's something to hearing diversity of content that um kind of like pushes you also to write counters to the things you disagree with,
Yeah.
right? So you hear something and you're like, "Oh man, I see what they're trying to say, but I wouldn't say it like that. I'll say it like this." Or a perspective on a particular situation. So my whole point is that there's a provocative element to those types of environments that push you towards finding your own voice and like what you would want to say. So one, I'd say saturate yourself in the environment. And um, the second thing I would say is to do the scary thing and put yourself out there, like it's hard. Like once you get over that hump of like, all people staring at, like people gonna judge me, people, whatever. Once you get over that hump, it is really freeing.
Yeah.
You cross the threshold of leaning on your opinion of yourself over others' opinions of yourself. Your opinion of your work versus other people's opinion of your work. And that is really, really empowering. And I think it kind of sets you down the train tracks of like becoming your full
Yes.
self.
Yes.
And then you become the provocative one, provoking people with your content. Even if it's in the form of vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
Um, People have really deep pains of what they experience in this life or desires that they want to express. And then by doing that, there may be somebody in the audience that is not where you are yet, but you
Yeah,
demonstrate and you model how you can find language around expressing this like particular thing. You never know what the impact is going to be,
that's so
but
true.
it contributes to like the potluck,
Yes.
what people like dine on, literary standpoint, and contributing to that is just helpful for the community. So that would be
Mm,
my pieces of advice. Like saturate yourself in the environment and do the scary thing and put yourself out there.
love it. Thank you so much, Shawn. That is amazing. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you. Where can we find you?
Instagram.
Maybe.
Like usually I post stuff. I post stuff in past tense mostly. Like after
Okay.
I do an event, oh thank you, like, honored to be here, honored to have done whatever. But that's more of like a marketing thing, right? Like, as a full-time entrepreneur, people need to see that I'm serving and performing and
Right.
all of that. So that's more to let people know I'm moving
Yes.
and active. But um where can I need a better answer to this question because I do stuff all the time. And um,
So we should go to your
I don't know.
website.
You can go to my website, but I don't have like a calendar of events. Like, oh, he's gonna be here next. He's gonna,
Right.
it's just I get booked. I'll perform at those places. The audience to those places know that I'm coming. So I got to change that. But in the meantime, Instagram, Shawn.welcome, SHAWN.welcome. You can like follow me there. Sometimes if I'm performing somewhere, I'll post in advance that I'll be there. I do have a newsletter that you can join, and you can email me at info@shawnwelcome.com if you want to join that newsletter. I share upcoming events that people can be a part of, and also give like recaps of what I've done and how they can be involved, maybe. And yeah, email me, find me, Google Shawn Welcome, and you know, I'm pretty easy to find, and yeah, I need a better answer to this question. I'm gonna talk to my publicist assistant and have her help me come up with a better answer to that where people can find me.
Thank you so
And then
much.
on the next podcast, I'll have like a really crisp answer.
Hey, we found you here. We find you here. Jay the Sneaky Poets
Yeah,
YouTube channel.
yeah,
Like, share,
yeah.
subscribe,
Right
follow.
on, right on, right on, right on.
Thank you so much, Shawn. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
This
yeah, my
was this
pleasure,
was
my
a
pleasure.
joy.
Yeah, thank you
Yes.
for having me, and I hope this was valuable, will be valuable to your audience. And yeah, we out here. We doing big things here in Orlando, man.
Yes, we
Orlando,
are.
Central Florida, man. This we in here.
I'm
We here.
excited.
We're alive and well. So
Yes.
don't sleep. Don't
Don't
sleep. Big
sleep.
things to come. 34th Annual Southern Fried Poetry Slam Festival, June 9th through the 13th. Keep your eyes and ears open. litartsccf.org, litartsccf.org. If you have a literary event that you would like on our calendar, please submit your event there. We've consolidated all of the literary events on a calendar on that website. And the Literary Arts Council on Instagram. You can check that out and see, all what's happening. Obviously, it's a slow build, but we're growing, and we have great hopes for the literary future of Central Florida.
Yes. Oh, and the upcoming about organ donation.
Yes, a poetry slam February
Yes.
3rd. We are giving away $1,000 for the top prize for the
I'm
poet
submitting my
that
poem. I'm working on it right now.
come on, $1,000 for uh the poet that wins the crowd around the theme of organ donation. That's a topic that not many people have at their dinner tables, but you can find more information about how to submit first word page on my page on Instagram. You can go to www.ourlegacyfl/speaklife.
Okay.
ourlegacyfl.org/speak now. And you can submit your poem there.
Okay.
Deadline is January 23rd. We will select our poets and have an amazing competition, give away some money, learn more about organ donation, and go from there.
Yeah. Super excited. Thank
Yes.
you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Jay, the sneaky poet, Jamise. Really appreciate you having me on, and yeah, I'll see you around.
Yes. Thanks for making the time.
Of course. Take care.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Oh my gosh, y'all. I hope you guys got into it. I hope you loved it as much as I did. That was Shawn Welcome, the former Poet Laureate of Central Florida. And he was amazing. That was an amazing. I hope you grabbed all the nuggets. Okay. Please, please, please hone in on your own craft. Make it your own. Okay. You too. One poem means you're a poet. Once again, I am Jay, the Sneaky Poet. This is my podcast, Jay's Journey into Verse. Thank you so much for season 2 opening with Shawn Welcome. This was phenomenal. And once again, if you want to be on the Poetry Podcast, DM me, email, let me know how poetry saved your life because it sure saved mine. I love y'all, love y'all, love. Welcome. We made it. It's another day. Jay the Sneaky Poet. You can find me on all platforms. And like, share, comment, subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Peace.